This is the nutrition portion of the behavioral health inventory. Below is a picture of the questions listed on the nutrition section of the behavioral health inventory. I eat enough food to stay energized throughout the day. Staying energized throughout the day allows an individual to optimize their overall quality of life and well-being by getting the most out of each day. Balance is important for monitoring calories in, which is eating, versus calories out, which would be exercising or movement. Eating a well-balanced diet full of whole foods and other vital nutrients helps to limit deficiencies in important vitamins and minerals. Some tips to eat a well-balanced diet to stay energized throughout the day include eating every 3 to 4 hours, which will help to fuel a healthy metabolism. Eat till comfortably full and avoid overeating. Eat foods from multiple food groups, which consist of whole grains, lean protein, fiber-rich fruits and vegetables, and low-fat dairy. Snacks should have lean protein and fiber-rich carbohydrates to provide lasting energy. Examples include unsalted nuts, string cheese, and/or low-fat Greek yogurt. Skip the foods and beverages with added sugars, such as soda, sugary coffee, and energy drinks. These sugary drinks can make you more thirsty and prone to consuming more. Shopping smart. Shopping the perimeter and looking for fresh whole foods that are nutrient dense will help to plan out snacks and other meals throughout the week. I limit my alcohol consumption. Drinking too much alcohol can be detrimental to a person's health. What is a standard drink? A standard drink consists of 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. The recommended intake for men is 2 drinks or less a day, and 1 drink or less a day for women. Long-term health risks include high blood pressure, heart disease, cancer, and/or mental health issues such as anxiety and depression. Some tips to reduce alcohol consumption include gradually reducing the number of drinks you consume. It is recommended to not cut everything off immediately, but rather reducing number of drinks over a period of time. Space out the length of time between each drink. Having a glass of water between alcohol drinks to avoid dehydration. Mix weaker drinks with less alcohol. Change from your preferred alcoholic drink to one. Adhere to a weekly reduction schedule, such as monitoring how much you are drinking and when. I avoid eating foods that are high in saturated fat. An example of this would be cheese, whole milk, red meats, butter, and lard. Saturated fat can act in a negative manner on the body. Too much saturated fat can cause plaque buildup in the arteries in the heart and brain, and has also been shown to raise LDL cholesterol, which is the bad cholesterol. What is saturated fat? Saturated fat is a fat that often comes from processed foods and animal products. Increased saturated fat consumption is associated with increased risk for heart disease, obesity, and high cholesterol. Many processed foods are high in saturated fat, such as pizza, frozen meals, and baked goods, and consuming too much of these types of food can lead to excessive weight gain over time. Some tips to limit saturated fat consumption include eating more unsaturated fats, such as fatty fish, unsalted nuts, and extra virgin olive oil. Limiting saturated fats, such as butter, red meat, and heavy cream. Losing trans fat and other hydrogenated oils found in frozen meals and baked goods. For more information on saturated fats, you can go to heart.org.
I try to eat foods that are rich in fiber. Example, fruit, vegetables, and whole grains. It is recommended that a person's diet should include at least 20 to 30 grams of fiber a day, but the average American only gets 15 grams of fiber a day. Fiber is important in that it helps prevent constipation and helps keep blood sugar in check. A couple of ways that you could include more fiber in your diet is by eating snacks that include fiber, eating more whole grains, or even popcorn throughout the day. The top 5 sources of fiber includes beans, whole grains, brown rice, popcorn, and nuts. I try to avoid foods and drinks that are high in added sugar. Too much of a good thing isn't always good. There isn't any recommendations on how much sugar someone should consume within their daily diet because sugar is not a required nutrient. Sugar does have many negative effects on the human body. Sugar, especially, has a big impact on one's heart. Therefore, the American Heart Association suggests that women eat no more than 100 calories worth of sugar and 150 calories for men. Adding more fruit to your diet is a great way to get natural sugar as well as fiber, or even just try to eat less sugar. For example, using less syrup on your pancakes or only having a fun size candy bar versus a full size candy bar. I try to restrict my salt intake. According to the CDC, 90% of Americans over the age of 2 years old overconsume the recommended daily amount of salt. Consuming too much sodium has a negative impact all around on your health, but your body does require some salt intake for muscle function and conduction of nerve impulses. Current dietary guidelines for Americans recommend eating less than 2,300 milligrams of sodium a day. One way that could aid in reducing salt intake includes limiting how often you go out to eat. Restaurant food is notorious for being high in sodium, as well as frozen meals, ham, pizza, canned vegetables, and so forth.
I try to avoid highly processed foods. Ultra processed foods are foods that are chemically altered with artificial flavors, ingredients, and other additives to increase flavor and a longer shelf life. They often contain high levels of added sugar, saturated fat, and other unnatural ingredients, and less nutrients and fiber. Ultra processed foods often come in packages including frozen and microwavable foods, soft drinks, packaged soups, boxed cookies, and other desserts. They are also found in fast food restaurants such as hamburgers and french fries. Regular consumption of these may increase risk of cancer, heart disease, obesity, diabetes, and high blood pressure. Here are some tips on how to reduce your intake of processed foods. When shopping for groceries, most of the processed foods are located in the center aisles, so it's important to spend less time in that area of the store and more time shopping the perimeter where whole and fresh foods are located. Learning how to cook at home and eating out less is another way to reduce exposure to an intake of processed foods. I aim to eat fruits and vegetables daily. Fruits and vegetables should not be neglected in your regular diet. They provide most of the nutrients that your body needs to function properly, especially vitamins and minerals. These essential nutrients are often not included in processed foods that people commonly eat, which leads to the health complications mentioned earlier. Evidence has shown that vegetables may lead to a decreased risk of type 2 diabetes, colon and rectal cancer, hip fracture, stroke, pancreatic diseases, and depression. Fruits are also shown to reduce type 2 diabetes, colon cancer, pancreatic diseases, and depression. The daily recommendations are about 3 cups of vegetables and 2 cups of fruits each day. Vegetables of all kinds should be consumed, including dark green, red orange, beans, peas, and lentils, starchy, and other vegetables. Fruits can be either fresh, dried, or canned, since they all have the similar nutritional quality. Here are some tips to increase your intake of fruits and vegetables. When grocery shopping, fruits and vegetables are most likely located in the perimeter of the store, including fresh and whole foods, as mentioned earlier. Try to spend less time shopping the center aisles where processed foods are located. Going to a fresh food market is another alternative way to be exposed to more fruits and vegetables. Here are just some of the references we used for each of our behavioral inventory questions. Thank you for watching, and we hope you learned a lot about nutrition.